I grew up in the golden age of Lubavitch. So from a very young age, there were so many opportunities to see the Rebbe, to interface with the Rebbe. And the Rebbe was there to lift us up, to give us perspective, solace when necessary, encouragement, to share the joys. A world with the Rebbe in it was a world that had an anchor.
I was a reporter at the New York Times from 1975 to 1993. And in those years, I had many opportunities to write about the growth of the Lubavitch movement and to write about Rabbi Schneerson in particular. I think most celebrities are people that you may admire, but you don't get a sense that they care that much about you. The Rebbe was different. He really cared about every person.
העבר שלו, בפעם הראשונה, זה הצלחה רבה, כשיבצעו שלו בציורים שלו, הצלחה רבה. הצלחה רבה בכל הציורים החדשים. I have not seen you a long time. All since I arrived.
Could be a little bit better.
Then it will be a lot better.
Amen.
בנצל כל האפשריות, להפיץ היהדות האמיתית, ומתייחסים חבטוב לבו.
כן, אני יודעת.
ירכב גם כן בשורות טובות בענייניך הפרטיים.
אוי, תודה. תודה.
והעבודה שלי היא גם כן הסתרבות בעניינים הפרטיים של כל הפנים אליי.
זה יותר חשוב לי ממה שאמרת עד עכשיו.
He wanted you to be a better person. He wanted you to be a better Jew. He wanted you to practice the rituals and the commandments of Judaism. Those things would make you a better person and make the world better.
When one walked into the Rebbe's study, you saw nothing but the Rebbe. It was not an ostentatious office. It's not like going into the president or governor's offices or even deans of law schools. The Rebbe's office was not that at all. It was him. He can't enforce anything he wants. All he can do is advise and suggest. And that distinguishes him from every other leader I've met. They have the power of the purse, they have the power of the sword, they have the power of the media, they have the power of law. Rebbe has no power, only the authority that he himself brings through his personality and his leadership.
Yes. What happened to the book?
Well, I'm doing some things in that direction, which I'll inform you as it goes along.
It takes you too long here.
You're right.
You have much more things to do after you finish that.
Okay.
This was a wonderful year, Baruch Hashem, but this was our greatest accomplishment of 1988. To be elected a senator was nice, but this was the best.
But don't be satisfied. It's going to be you.
Okay, we both heard.
The Rebbe's mission was to call the world's bluff and reach right in and invert its reality and expose the core, expose the goodness. And he did that on every level, to the world entire, to each person he touched.
Wir soll wissen sein, dass wir gefühlt sich in einer teure Welt. Das ist eine Welt, wo sie ist ein Gang. Und nicht stamm a Sode, eise Tvur, nur das ein Gang von eise Peres. Das ist eine Samen-Welt, wo der Rebester sagt, dass das ein Pardes, wo das ein Pardische Leben.
The Rebbe rewrote the book on what it meant to be a Hasidic leader. The Rebbe sort of broke down that wall and said, I have something to give and to contribute and to teach to all Jews. He was one of a kind. So with him gone, how could the movement survive?
The Rebbe's passing was a loss on a personal level, but beyond that, it seemed to be the eclipse of a light the world needed so badly. That was the true loss. But as it turned out, that was never lost.
To think that he had built this movement from the time he became Rebbe in the 1950, 1951, and it had this phenomenal growth, that growth would have continued sort of exponentially after his passing is kind of hard to imagine, hard to believe. It just shows that, the power of the message that he had, and that he has been able to, in some ways, transcend life.
The Tzad Tev is Neisa, was peilt sich, peilt rechet al Bnei Beisir, und peilt, wie der Rambam schreibt, als Psag Din, al Kol Ha'elam Kuli Machrie Lekar Schus, bringt uns die Gejule, bepeil Mamash, Nitech Simcha, Vetuv Levo.